Hey everybody, it's time for Story Time with Mr. Hallum, where we once again gather together for a story. Now, lately this week I've been making you do the SCAPE, the setting, characters, action, problem, and ending of the story. You don't have to do that today because today is Funny Friday. And Funny Friday is me telling a funny story. And if you want to do that, the SCAPE, you're welcome to it. But I'll tell you right now, I'm the main character. So, well, there you go. So, here we go. Uh, it's kind of funny to think about it, but grown-ups, just like kids, are afraid of things. Okay? And I am afraid of snakes. Don't like snakes, have no reason to be around snakes, don't even want to see pictures of snakes, nothing like it. Okay? Don't want to have anything to do with them. So, when I was a kid, we grew up over in Southwest Little Rock and down by a place named Hindman Park. And there was a creek that ran through the area, and it was part of Fush Creek, and it joined into a bigger, it was Hindman Creek that went into Fush Creek, whatever. Doesn't matter. But there were a lot of woods and trees and rocks and dirt, and basically it was a boys' playground, okay? It was a place for me and my friends to go and hang out, and we would take our BB guns, and if it was after the 4th of July, we would take leftover fireworks, and we would play Army down there in this area. Well, uh, I really got into the whole playing Army aspect of it to the point that I had an olive green shirt, okay, not like this sweet yellow one I'm wearing, or gold, I'm not sure what color this is, and camouflage pants. And I was specific when I told my mom I wanted what were called tiger stripe because those were for the jungle, because, military jungle, okay? And we carried backpacks, and we would pack lunch, and we would put water in there and carry our BB guns and stuff, and we'd put our backpacks on, and we're just hiking along, hiking through the woods, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hiking through the woods. So we go down there, and we would do this almost on a daily basis. We're down there playing and running around, and you would think that we would have seen snakes, but never saw any snakes while we were down there. And so I just assumed this place was snake free. It was a perfect place for me. Well, we were walking. We'd come down, and there was a tree that had fallen over, and the tree was what we used as a bridge. We would walk across the tree, and you could jump off the other side. Well, one day I decided, that I'm a military guy, and I'm going to do it through the water. I've decided to walk through the water. So I go down to the creek, and I start wading in, and water gets up to about here on me, okay, on my chest. I've got my gun up in the air, and I see this log in front of me, but it's kind of a weird looking log. And so I go to reach and put my hand on it, and my brother and my friend Roger, who are walking across the tree, are both going, uh, 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 and I'm like, what? And I put my hand on this thing, and I'm getting ready to kind of push it, and I noticed that the log does this. And it looked back at me. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with logs, it's a piece of wood. A piece of wood shouldn't look at you. This was not a piece of wood. This was a very large snake. Large, ginormous, freakishly huge. Now, only 3 people in history have walked on water: Jesus, Peter, and myself, because I leaped straight up out of the water, landed on top of it, and ran. And I don't know why I ran back, but I ran back the direction I had come from. Got out of the water, and this snake did not even seem bothered. It was just kind of like, whatever. and went back to floating there. So I got up and was walking across the thing, and I was like, guys, look at that snake. And they're like, it's huge. And they said, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know about you, but I'm throwing a rock at it. Now, some kids would have picked up a small rock, a little bitty rock. And some kids would have picked up a bigger rock, bigger rock, like a baseball. I picked up a minor boulder, okay? I was just like, lift. And I walked out to the middle of the tree, and I went, Hoa! And I threw that rock out there. And the snake, if it was laying like this, I should do this, went floop and disappeared under the water. Yeah, that's right. I did that. So we jumped off of there and we ran off. Ah! Now, we've come back. It's been a week. We've given it a week to make sure any bad feelings are completely gone, that the snake's not after us. We come back and we don't see any snakes. We're walking around. Everything's cool. And my friend Roger, his toe, as we're crossing over the tree, his toe hits this little dirt ball type thing that was in the tree, and it broke open. And when it broke open, I've lost count. 1 million little snakes start slithering out. It was like some snake had been in there and laid babies and had babies, and when he kicked it, they started coming out, and we didn't know what kind of snakes they were. They're little, they were black. We assumed they were water moccasins, and a baby snake is way more dangerous than a big snake because they don't know that their bite will kill you. So Roger jumped off. Patrick and I both jumped off the other direction. We ran off. We were moving towards the end of the times we ever came back to this area. Another time when I was, I want to say 10. Patrick would have been, that's my brother. He was 4 years younger than me. He would be 6. I should have left it as a math problem for you. Oh, well. Well, how old would I be 4 years down the road, and how old would Patrick have been? Okay, that's your math problem. So my grandparents' house had a big old flood. And it flooded up into the house. And so we, sorry, scratch my face. Corona. I won't shake any hands. So we were over at my grandparents' house, and we were walking around, and he had this shed out in the back of the house, a big shed out there. And we were walking around, and we're just, kind of playing in the backyard. It's like, well, we're in the backyard. Boop, doop, doop. And we walked past the shed, and lying right next to the shed was this huge snake. Now, it wasn't the snake that had, no, it wasn't that snake. So we run to the back door. We're banging on the door. Grandma. And Grandma opens the door and she's like, well, what's the matter, children? And I said, Grandma, tell Grandpa there's a big old snake out here. And my grandmother goes, Dow! Snake! My grandpa's name was Dow. And so Grandpa comes outside. He's like, all right, show me this snake. So we walk over to where the snake is, and I go, it's right there. And Grandpa bends down, and his head, the head of the snake is like that far from his hand. And my grandpa picks up a straw, and he goes, boy, that's a straw. And I went, no, Grandpa, there. And he looked that much further over, and there's this snake going. And Grandpa goes, oh, good Lord. And he picked up a 2x4, and he walked over and went, by the way, a 2x4 it's a measurement of wood. It's I can't describe it. Just ask your grandpa. He'll know what I'm talking about. And he takes his 2x4 and he goes, back, 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 back. And he hits this snake on the head, kills it. He picked it up by the tail, and he came over, and we took a picture. And I actually have this picture. If I went to look for it, I think it's at my mom's house. But he holds up a yardstick, which is 3 feet, and he holds it next to the snake, tail at the end, all the way. And there's a good 1.5 feet past the end of the snake. I mean, it was long. Okay, so here's your math problem. A yard is 36 inches. How much is a foot and a half more than 36 inches? Look at that. You came for the story, you're getting the math today. So, yeah, snakes. I don't dig them. They don't dig me. We don't want to be around each other. I have one more I'll quickly tell. This is from when I was an adult. I was, as a science lab teacher, we were having a science fair at my school, and a student's dad was a herpetologist. That's a person who works with snakes. And he has the legal right to own snakes and deals with snakes and all that stuff. And he had come to school and was talking to one of the fourth grade classes about snakes, and he was showing them the different snakes. And he'd brought a little python, a little corn snake, I mean, none of them are poisonous snakes, but snakes, okay? So he comes into the room where we're doing the science fair, and I've got judges walking around, and he's standing there and he's talking to me. Now you won't be able to see. I'll do it through here. All of a sudden, he's come to ask me about doing a thing with a snake, and I see his shirt is doing something like this. And at this point, I realize he has a snake in his shirt. Well, now my dad is one of the judges. I always call my dad the judge. He's an engineer, and so he enjoys doing science fair projects. And he said that for the next minute, every word I said to that gentleman was as I was walking further and further away from him, to the point that when I finished my conversation with him, I was as far away from the man with the snake as I could humanly be and still be in the same room. And I was like, thanks, we'll call you if we want to do something with the snakes, but you have a lovely day. Okay, thank you, goodbye. Boom. End of it. So, yeah, snakes. They're creepy looking little things. Now, if you like a snake, that is great. Please don't bring any by me and show me. I don't even want to know about it. As a matter of fact, if you like snakes, that's one of those secrets you can keep to yourself, okay? All right, that said, have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday, and we will do some more stories. I will see what I can put together book-wise, because even though it's a room full of books, most of these are novels, and I can't really do a SCAPE over a novel in 15 minutes, so we'll figure it out. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Look forward to, I'll do a story Monday, but it'll be a quiet day, and then Tuesday, school starts up through It's Learning. I'm very excited, and we'll do a lot more Zooms, and we'll see each other then. So thank you, guys. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we will talk to you later.